When you think of the Mahabharata, it's this huge, sprawling epic, right? But there's this one character, Karna, who just grabs you. He's this incredibly powerful warrior, but his whole life is this constant struggle. And not just on the battlefield. It's a fight against who he is and where he came from.
But here's the question that'll really make you think, something people have argued about for centuries. What if the man who fought for the bad guys was actually the greatest hero of the whole story? Yeah, let's get into it. Let's unpack the story of Karna. You see, Karna's whole life is this story of being pushed away, but always getting back up. He's all about loyalty, almost to a fault, but you can tell he's just torn up inside. His fate was sealed by a secret he didn't even know about, and you have to wonder, were any of the choices he made ever really his own? Okay, so to really get who Karna is, you have to go right back to the beginning. And I mean, his origin story is so dramatic, it sounds like something straight out of a myth. It's this one secret that just hangs over everything he ever does. So get this. Karna is born a demigod. His dad is the sun god himself, and he's born with this literal golden armor attached to his skin that makes him invincible. Insane, right? But here's the tragedy. His mom, Kunti, is just a teenager, and she's not married. She's terrified of the shame, the scandal, so she does something unimaginable. She puts her baby in a basket and sets him adrift on a river. He's eventually found and raised by this loving couple, a charioteer and his wife. They give him all the love in the world, but they can't give him the one thing he was born with, royal status. And that right there leads to the label that's gonna follow him his whole life, like a brand and a curse, Sutaputra, the son of a charioteer. Now, in the society of the time, that was a big deal. It meant you were low caste, an outcast. It didn't matter one bit that he had the blood of a god and a queen. All anyone saw was the commoner who raised him. Just look at this comparison. It really shows you the massive gap between Karna and the guy who becomes his arch-rival, Arjuna. You got Arjuna over here, a prince, born with a silver spoon, celebrated by everyone. And then there's Karna. He has just as much skill, maybe even more, but he's constantly getting mocked, shut down, told he's not good enough. You can just imagine how that kind of constant humiliation would light a fire inside a person. So you've got the super talented guy, just full of resentment because he's stuck on the outside looking in. And then a moment happens. One moment that changes absolutely everything. A single act of kindness that will lock him into his destiny for good. So, picture this. There's a huge tournament happening. Karna steps up and starts fighting Arjuna, the golden boy prince. And he's not just holding his own, he's matching him, blow for blow. The crowd goes wild. But right when it looks like Karna might actually win, the whole thing gets shut down. Why? Because he's a Sutaputra. He's not allowed to compete with the prince. The public humiliation is just brutal. And in that dead silence, one person speaks up. And it's Duryodhana, the rival cousin of the Pandava heroes. Now, Duryodhana is no saint. He's a schemer. He sees Karna and thinks, wow, this guy could be useful. So he does something nobody expects. Right then and there, he makes Karna the king of a small kingdom, Anga. Just like that, gives him the royal status he needs to compete. For Karna, who's been treated like dirt his whole life, this is everything. And all Duryodhana asks for in return is his friendship, his loyalty, forever. And for Karna, a guy who's been starving for just a crumb of acceptance, this isn't just a crown. It's salvation. So he makes a vow, an unbreakable promise of loyalty to Duryodhana. And that loyalty, man, it becomes his entire code. It's his greatest strength. But it's also his fatal flaw, because it blinds him to all the terrible things his new friend does, and it puts him on a direct path to fight against the very brothers he never knew he had. All right, so let's fast forward. Years go by. The massive, epic Kurukshetra war is about to kick off. Karna is now Duryodhana's #1 guy, his greatest warrior. The armies are lined up. And then, right before the fighting starts, his past comes crashing back in the form of 2 huge, life-changing bombshells. First, the god Krishna shows up, in secret, and drops this bomb on him. Hey, you know that Queen Kunti? She's your mom. And those 5 Pandava brothers you're about to try and kill? Yeah, those are your little brothers. And then Krishna makes him an offer he can't refuse. Or can he? He says, switch sides now, join your brothers, and we'll make you the emperor of the whole world. Just imagine that. Everything Karna ever wanted, respect, power, his rightful place, it's all right there for the taking. So what do you think he does? In a moment that tells you everything you need to know about Karna, he says no.
He refuses. He tells Krishna, "My mother isn't the queen who threw me away. My mother is Radha, the woman who found me and loved me." He says his loyalty isn't to some family he's never met, it's to Duryodhana, the one guy who stood up for him. He chooses honor over power, loyalty over a kingdom. Wow. And if that wasn't enough, then Kunti herself shows up, his birth mother. She's begging him, "Please spare my sons." And you can just feel the lifetime of pain and anger in his response. He basically tells her, "You destroyed me." But even then, in all that rage, he shows this incredible mercy. He promises her that no matter what happens, she'll still have 5 sons. He says he'll only fight to kill his rival Arjuna. One of them will die, but he won't harm his other 4 brothers. This ability to be merciful, even to the people who hurt him most, it points to the other core part of who Karna is, his generosity. I mean, it was almost reckless. He was famous for this vow he took to never, ever refuse a gift to anyone who asked. A noble idea, for sure, but it's the very thing that's going to lead to his downfall. Okay, remember that invincible golden armor he was born with? Well, Arjuna's dad, the god Indra, is worried. He knows that as long as Karna has that armor, Arjuna can't win. So Indra comes up with a plan. He disguises himself as a poor old man and goes to Karna and begs for the armor as a charitable gift. Karna's no fool. He knows exactly who it is and what's happening. He knows this is a trick, and giving away his armor means he will die. And he does it anyway. He takes out a knife and literally carves his divine protection off his own body and hands it over. He would rather die than break his word. And so that brings us to the final day of the war for Karna. He rides into battle without his divine armor, totally vulnerable, but still one of the most feared warriors on the field. But this is where it all comes together. A lifetime of bad luck and curses, all converging at the worst possible moment. It's like a cosmic, perfect storm of tragedy. First, there's this old curse from one of his teachers, and it makes him forget the magic words for his ultimate weapon, right when he needs it most. Then he's forced to use his other big one-time-only divine weapon to save his army, so that's gone before he can use it on Arjuna, and then the final kick in the teeth. Another curse kicks in, and his chariot wheel gets stuck, sunk deep in the mud. So there he is. His most powerful weapon is gone. His chariot is stuck. He's basically a sitting duck. He begs Arjuna, "Hey, follow the rules of war. Let me get my wheel out." But Arjuna is just thinking about all the bad things Karna has done while fighting for Duryodhana. He doesn't wait. He draws his bow and he kills his own brother while he's defenseless. And just like that, the great Karna is gone. So that leaves us with this massive question, the one that people still debate today. Was Karna really a good man who was just dealt a terrible hand by fate? Or did he bring this all on himself? Was it his pride, his anger, his blind loyalty that was his undoing? The story doesn't give you a simple answer, and that's exactly why he's such a powerful, unforgettable, tragic hero. But I'm curious, what do you think?